kicking sport. I've just turned on stream recording, so if you were holding back any particularly funny or good bits, then feel free to deploy them from now so that we can clip them and use them as an advert for the channel.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm in no absolutely zero pressure for that. So brilliant. So that was a few of the 50p's. We'll come back to those later, I think, if you can find any more. Think of any.
I've got loads.
Really good ones. Let's head back over to CoinCam. So we'll go through some of the coins and some of the. I say CoinCam. I will also review these notes. I say review. I mean just pick them up. Say this is that, or say I don't know what this is, and then hopefully we can. I appear to have two Kazakh notes here. I can't tell what the Kazakh money is called, but I will Google it. So for somebody who has a coin collection, I'm pretty ignorant. Kazakh notes, says Josie. They are, yeah. I don't know when I got them. It is the Kazakhstani tenge, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's pronounced. One Kazakhstani tenge is equal to the value of 0.0017 pound sterling. So
it's not very good.
It's not great, is it? Let's just up this. I have I've got a 200 here, so that shakes out at 0.34 pound sterling, and I also have a 1,000 tenge note, which comes to £1.72. So I'm pretty happy about that. Pissing Myself likes the handprints. Yeah, they are quite good, those, aren't they? I'll just see if we can bring those up to a little closer to the camera there. No, we cannot, because I cannot figure out the how the camera is working. There you go. That's almost visible there. Josie has a lot of Uzbek notes from their grandparents' trip to there. That's pretty cool. I've most people who've heard me talk at any point in the last couple of years have probably heard about how I met the Uzbek Minister for Public Education, Shahzad Shermatov. But that's by the by. That's the only Uzbek that I've ever met, other than the rest of Shahzad Shermatov's sort of retinue, his guys, most of whom remained at the posse, the Shermatov boys, the Sherm squad. I think the majority of them remained at the hotel. The implication that I got from the hello, Jane, welcome. The implication that I got from the guys at the British Council was that the majority of the Uzbek delegation were a bit hungover and had decided to schedule a business meeting in their rooms.
Why did you meet them? I've never heard this story.
They were coming to school, the school that I work at, to learn about the British education system, and just come on a. Well, they were here for some sort of educational forum set up by the British Council. So Jane Edwards is with us in the house. Lovely to have you here, Jane. I've already said hello, but I'll say it again. We've got Sam Nicoresti here. Sam, would you like to say hello to Jane?
Hello, Jane. Nice to see you. Well, not see you, but nice to know that you're here. How are you? Hope you're well. I haven't seen you in a while, but I think of you often. I see you on Twitter. I hope your streams have been going well.
I did briefly drop into Jane's knitting stream this morning, but unfortunately I dropped in just as it was wrapping up, so I didn't want to derail conversation too much by announcing my presence when you appeared to be finishing up with your stream. But it was lovely to see you, and then I did watch a little bit of Robotrons, John Robertson's stream that you sent us into nice lad, isn't he? He was being everyone's dad. I think it was a sort of breakfast or dinner at Dad's house, and he was welcoming everyone in, and it was very, very nice. I'm not. My parents are not divorced. Some may argue that perhaps it would have been better for Mum's overall quality of life if she had, but she didn't. So I couldn't necessarily identify with that, but I'm sure it was all very nice. Anyhow,
Is the idea that he's divorced?
I think that was the implication. I mean, I wasn't there for a massively long time to ascertain the full sort of scope of the stream, but long enough that was the impression that I got. Maybe there was some sort of real narrative twists and turns that would have developed later on, but I had to make my lunch. So
I remember when I was young, and you meet your first friend who's got divorced parents, and you don't realise what they're on about, and they say, "Oh, spending weekends at Dad's," and I was really jealous because I thought, well, why is it that you've got 2 houses? Your dad's got a whole second house that he goes in to hang out at the weekend.
Yeah,
I thought that was bullshit.
There's a charity called Dad's House, helping dads be dads.
Yes.
Urgent appeal for food bank donations. That's unimpeachable. Can't slam that in any way.
Damn straight. Dad's house.
Thank you very
Dad's
much.
rules.
Dad's house. Yeah. Jaws has a bit about Dad's house, Dad's rules, doesn't he? No pants at Dad's house.
Does he?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Okay.
There is some absolutely lovely chat going on in the chat. Disconnected Dan is just heaping praise and love on Jane Edwards, which is really, really nice to see. I'm delighted that
Slopping it on.
we have been graced with Jane's presence, and also with Disconnected Dan. Thank you very much for joining us today. Let's have another look at some more coins, shall we? So let's get to coin cam. Oh, the wow! The wow automatically starts every time I open up the frame. This is, I don't know if you can see that from else. So that's where that. Come on, focus your
ask
button.
first.
Yeah, I can't see what that is at all. Canada, 25 cents. It has. Let me see if I'm able to zoom in on this. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, holy shit.
That's pretty fucking good, isn't it? How do you like them apples?
First question, is that the head or the tail?
Well, it's got the moose's head on it, hasn't it? But the other
Is
side...
the moose the king of Canada?
The other side has
There she is.
the queen on it. So that's a double header.
So that's a head and head.
I would call that a double header. I mean, yep, Josie's just praising the fucking camera work here and the zoom in. I'm pretty happy with the zoom in. I'm very pleased to have figured out that actually works. So thank you very much for recognising that. Disconnected Dan saw me at ACMS where I did a talk on GDPR. That's wonderful. Thanks very much for letting me know about that. It's always nice when there's a nice little connection. That's very sweet. Thank you for letting me know. And also, Disconnected Dan remembers the Jaws bit. Don't you remember that, Sam?
About Dad's pants being off.
Yeah. No, it's not Dad's pants.
I don't.
It's
your pants are off in Dad's house.
Well,
I don't think I've seen the bit.
It's a great bit. You should seek it out. I'll ask fucking Jaws if that's available anywhere, because it is a very, very funny bit.
Hey, my interest is piqued.
Yep. Oh, this is good. I've just got notification that Greg, who is the who's a friend of my friend Kate, has accidentally followed me from a Central St Martin's account, and all the students can see what you are doing. So I don't know whether that means this now or just generally, but that's really lovely. I'm very baffled and happy to hear about that. That's really good. Maybe I shouldn't have announced it on the stream. Instagram. There we go. Sorry.
Okay. Maybe I should give it a shout out because I used to work in the library at the at UAL. So
that's good.
So shout out.
Shout out to that. Sick. That's that whips, dude. I love that. Thanks for the shout out to CSM. I've just reorganised the camera slightly so that you're slightly overlaid the coin cam. Not that anyone gives a fuck, because it is self-evident given that this is a visual format. Wonderful. Well, we've got the Canadian quarter there, 25 cents. Any thoughts on that? Can you see it?
Absolutely. It's difficult to wrap your mind around really at first, because the whole moose on the other side really has thrown me for six. Going back to our earlier discussion about what is the head of the coin and what is the what's the front and what's the bottom, I think this throws a spanner in the works, because yes, it still holds true. You wouldn't turn your back on Queen Elizabeth II, but now would you turn your back on a moose?
No, I think it, at that point you've got to make a call. The relative threat levels posed by the Queen and the moose. The moose is clearly a lot bigger and has.
The more immediate threat is the moose, for sure. But the Queen, I think, is longer term a problem.
Wow. Let's just see if there's any information on is it dangerous? Carry on.
So whilst you're doing that, I would also be quite interested to know what they say in a game of hockey when they flip the coin at the start. Is it heads or tails, or is it Queen or moose?
Well, I mean, do we have any Canadians in the chat, or anyone who feels that they'd like to hazard a guess, or knows a Canadian who they might be able to ask very quickly? That would be good. To know
what's the time in Canada right now.
What? Yeah, fuck. That's another question which it would be good to ask, and indeed I will ask. Is the time in Canada right now? It is presently in Ottawa. It is 12:20. Presumably, that's
midday or midnight.
Midday, because this is 24-hour clock.
Okay.
Newfoundland.
So we could
Go on.
We could ask a Canadian.
Yeah. So if anyone has a Canadian that they would be able to ask, please do ask them. In Edmonton, it is 10:20, and in Vancouver, which is where my friend James lives, it is 9:20 in the morning. So he might just be getting up, but may not, because it's a Sunday, isn't it? He might.
I've got a friend in Edmonton, so between us,
it's 10:20 there.
Pop her a message.
They might have had their coffee by now. Yeah, if you can drop her a message, that would be great. Andrew Banter III asks, have you got the 1936 George V quarter? I've no idea. This is not an indexed or remotely sort of catalogued collection of coins, so I do not know whether I have. I'll have a little look through. But I reckon it's probably likely to be a no. But and do let me know how loudly the sort of coin sorting is coming through on the mic, because I don't want that to be too disruptive.
Quite pleasant for me, I think.
Ian says this whole stream is just me showing off my affluence. I don't think that's fair to say. I just happen to have come into a lot of I say a lot, I mean some foreign coins over, a sort of 20-year period. So I mean I haven't accrued all that much. Around about £2 worth of sub £2, maybe £2 worth of Kazakh Tenga. Coin audio about right, says Pissing Myself. More immersive experience, that's great. Josie says, glad to know there's someone else with a ridiculous amount of foreign coins with no real care for where and when they're from. Yeah, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a sort of coin fanaticist, as you can probably tell by the fact that this, which I'm fairly certain is just a sort of token from a fairground or something, has made its way in to the collection. I'd probably deal with that, but I do have some more back home in Folkestone. I've got a big bin worth of them, but again, they're in a bin, so I mean that's not that great. You've got one of those. Where did you get it from? I've dropped it on the floor now. Wonderful. See, we are building. This is from East Links Family Park, apparently, and I mean, I don't know whether that is. I mean, it's not spelt with a C, so I don't know whether that's supposed to be Lincolnshire or it's somewhere else. Let me have a look.
What is that?
It's a sort of fairground token or something.
Yeah.
East Links Family Park. Tell you what. This is somebody's dumped that in.
£9,500.
Yeah, tell you what. It's five. Well, it's one token. Tell you what. Somebody has popped that in my bucket at the Fringe.
Fucker. That is rude, isn't it?
That might be where a number of these come from. I did have a Jersey £1 note kicking around somewhere, but that doesn't appear to be amongst all this.
Someone gave me a whole bunch, like a £1, an old £1 coin at the Fringe in 2019, and
Just
at first I thought like, well. But it wasn't just after. It was like a year or two. So that person must have, has to have like been carrying those around with intent.
Yeah, I am gonna. This will make a good sound. This will great bucket feel, but ultimately no value. Empty.
Can I just confirm with you, Andy, what we're asking my Canadian friends specifically? So far, I've said. I've explained the context of what's happening, and I've also asked her how she is, just in case it's not really inappropriate, just to kind of jump straight in.
Is fine. Would the chat be able to clarify exactly what we want to ask the Canadian? I'm just see if I can find the question. Somebody did post.
Yeah, I can tell you what I've written so far. Maybe you can give me a better phrasing of it. Yeah. I've said. We're debating what the front of a coin is, head or tails, but a Canadian coin has two heads, moose and queen. So do you guys still do heads and tails, or what?
Yeah, and the what bearing that has on the starting of a sporting game, a match of sport. We want to know how the coin toss would shake out there, and just any info really regarding
Link it back to. So do you guys still do heads and tails in a sports coin toss?
Yeah. Baldy also adds, if you could ask, how much wood could a Canuck chuck if a Canuck could chuck wood? I've never been sure how to pronounce that. Canuck? Any insight?
Well, I feel like it's got to be... Presumably because it's a tongue twister, it has to sound similar to the words around it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, that's not the original tongue twister, is it? That's Baldy's own...
chicken and an egg, really.
Yeah, no, you're damn right. Let's have a look at East Links Family Park, just to see. It is not a secure website, but it does have a rather nice little logo. Speaking of, you just said chicken and egg. The East Links Family Park logo is a little
a chicken and egg.
A little chick next to a sort of a portion of presumably its egg, although perhaps it is the egg of the underdeveloped egg of perhaps a brother, which this chick has sabotaged in order to ensure that it gets the majority of the food. I don't know. Anyway, we've got some Scots in, haven't we? Baldy, were you from north of the border? Because if so, have you ever been to East Links Family Park? It's in Dunbar, was it? Anyway, if so, do let us know. Pissing myself says you can see its towers from the train up to the east coast, up the east coast to Edinburgh. Baldy has not been to East Links Family Park. It's a shame. We can have a look at the gallery. It's taking a little while to load, but it looks perfectly nice, really, doesn't it? You can go on a little train near a bull. Wow! I gave that a wow. I was actually trying to see if it was possible to kind of switch between pictures with the directional buttons, but it is apparently not, given that I've set the right arrow up to do a wow. There's a hay barn, which you can drive a small miniature tractor through. There's no hay in it.
That looks photoshopped to me.
Do you think so? I think it's just
that does not look real.
I think it's just a quirk of the lighting. I think that's real.
Well, what is the light? Look at what is the lighting source on that, because it's behind them, but they're perfectly illuminated with no shadow. What, in a tunnel?
There's a flash. There's a flash. I don't know. I'm not a photography expert.
I think they've been inserted in.
Yeah. Do you think that East Links Family Park just engage in this sort of trickery as a matter of course to gull people in with this very well lit hay barn?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Josie says it's a real photo, but it's been photoshopped to all hell.
Okay.
That's the suggestion.
Hyper real.
Yeah, Adam Curtis would have a bloody field day with that. You can meet a young woman presenting you with a chick. You are a child in this situation. I don't know what you're expected to do with the chick, whether you're just permitted to sort of stroke it. Or
I don't think you get given it, do you?
No, well that would not be cost effective, considering the...
Do you think they're expensive? Surely not. I don't think chicks can be expensive.
10 a penny, mate.
Yeah.
10 a penny.
Exactly. So you want to get rid of them, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd be giving them away.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's probably your overheads for maintaining all of those chicks are nightmare. Particularly when you've got these donkeys to look after as well, and people just are permitted to sort of whiz past the donkeys on these little sort of chariots. That could cause all sorts of donkey accidents, and you've got to get your donkeys fixed as well.
Yeah, I don't know how they maintain their business.
They've got this to deal with as well. I mean, this appears to be a sort of largely painted workshop. I don't think there's any, because if you had those tools
you can have real tools
around,
in there, could you?
No
way.
That would be a nice. Particularly, is this some sort of? No, I don't think it's. I thought for a second it might be a kind of bucking bronco kind of thing, but then the presence of that sort of.
It's not high enough, is it?
It's not high enough, and there's a kind of safety rail. What I would have thought is perilously close to the bronco, so you could really get mashed up there if you fell off at a bad angle.
I think it's supposed to be some sort of fresher, isn't it? Some fresher. I think it's a fresher machine. That's what it's called, and it's like the one you'd see in a supermarket outside a Lidl in a shopping centre.
So you think it's got a fairly standard motion?
I think it moves.
And it's
but I think you have to pay for it to move.
And it's not intended to kind of throw you off.
It's not intended to launch the child.
Okay, that's good.
Would be my guess.
You can. How sheer do you think that wall is?
Yeah, again, no, I was going to say, it looks like, when they do in movies where they lie it flat and then they put the camera at the end to make it look like you're climbing. To me, that looks like it's just flat on the ground and that child is lying.
It's just kind of scrabbling over these little nubs, which are actually, at that kind of orientation, impeding his movement as opposed to aiding it.
Yeah, he could scuttle across that in no time at all if those were there.
Yeah, would that
Like
he
a
could.
crab.
He's desperate to. Final little look here. You can feed a lamb, and possibly feed the
Kid
other
looks like
lamb
he's
as well.
being restrained from
He
hitting the
does
lamb.
really. He wants to have a go, and by the
Yeah.
looks of him, I hate to judge a book by its cover, but I reckon he could probably deck that lamb as well.
I'm with you.
Yeah, that's my feeling there. So that's East Links Park. I can't remember. Oh, just a quick one. 7 signs you're about to be attacked by a moose. This is from January the 4th, 2014. So if the moose has upgraded since then, these may not apply. They typically become aggressive during the following seasons: late spring/early summer, when a cow (brackets a mother) feels her very young calf is in danger. In the fall, when that's autumn to you and I, when a breeding bull (brackets a male) is competitive and agitated. And 3 in the winter, when they are hungry and tired from walking in deep snow, which I'm sure is something that our friends in the Highlands of Scotland can very much identify with at the moment. If someone were to muck around with you after you've been walking in the deep snow for a long time and you're hungry, you'd probably...
Interesting, because to me, that would be the best time to attack a moose.
Yeah.
It's hungry and tired and cold.
I think this is saying that it is more likely to attack during these times as well. So, I mean, it's not... the
Frankly,
odds,
bring it on in those conditions.
I think it's not considering the odds of coming off ahead here. This is simply when they are more likely to attack. But if you think that would be the best time to have a go, then by all means...
I do.
You
That's what I think.
You can also tell if a moose will become aggressive by its body language. Here are 7 signs to look for. Pissing Myself has already picked up on one of them, which is, given Pissing Myself's screen name, pretty obvious to see how they zeroed in on this one. Number 5 is urinates. If you see a moose having a piss, then that could well indicate that it is jettisoning some extra weight in order to sort of gather a bit of extra speed when coming at you. I mean, that's my inference there, but that is
interesting.
That is sign. Number 1, the moose stops eating and stares at you.
That one's reliant on it eating in the first place.
That is not a reliable indicator if it's not chowing down when you first encounter it. 2, lays back its ears and raises the hair on its hump, neck, or hips. Just looking up moose hips here. That is the best. Can you see that?
That moose is ready to attack.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
he is.
He's having a piss.
Well, I don't know how.
He's holding it in. He's holding it in right now.
Is he sort of tucking? I don't know what a moose.
He's tucked it behind and is secretly jettisoning out the back.
Out the back.
So that you're not aware. You can't see all 7 signs.
He could well be pissing on his dinner as well if he's left that behind him. Put that to one side. 3, smacks or licks its lips and clicks its teeth. Andrew Banter says, you see, at that precise moment I would not take notice of its body language because it's about to spear me and throw me behind a bin. It does look... That moose does look like a real bruiser, doesn't it? There's one of a... This appears to be some sort of COVID safety themed moose graphic of an unimpressed moose resting its hands, its hooves, its fore hooves as opposed to its aft hooves, on its hips, and dangling a mask, a disposable mask around one of its ears.
That'll be for the Canadians.
That looks like that moose is about to attack you on perhaps your local next door forum. So I have seen people in the local area not wearing masks.
I don't have any moose-related coins, but I do. The closest one I have is another 2012 one. This is a show jumping horse.
Pop over to Sam Cam here to see if we can show jumping horse 2012. That's pretty good. A bit more.
Sorry, it's hard to.
It is
there
hard,
we go.
isn't it? It's tough. That's sort of nestling. I can see
There we
there's a bar in there, and there does appear to be a horse rising over it. However, my other interpretation of that, if you hadn't told me what that was, would be that that is a horse leaning over the ropes in a wrestling ring to perhaps tag in its tag team partner.
It could. I mean, to be fair, I can see it, and
Yeah.
it does look like that. Could be the case.
And
I think we do have a wrestling.
Do you?
Let's have a quick look. I might have already shown it though. I think that might have been one of the. Yes. Do you know what?
Yeah, that was the one that you thought was judo.
Judo. That might be wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if
from here
anyone
it
in the
looks
chat
like
can confirm.
it looks to me like a sort of muscular T-Rex kind of chimera thing. But what year is it from? Is that 2012?
2012. They're all from 2012.
Yeah.
Oh shit! This one's from 2011.
Fucking hell. Hot off the mint.
So I don't know how that's happened.
Well,
Not bad at all.
coal off the mint, probably, actually, because it's... Yes, okay, I can see where I got confused. There you go. I think that's the fucker.
Yeah, so that's the wrestling one.
Yeah. It's in a very well-lit environment that the wrestling is taking place there. There's a lot of lights on the ceiling. And I don't know whether all those sort of dots around the kind of perimeter are also lights as well. I don't know what they're supposed to be.
I think they're audience members. I think
Okay.
they represent heads.
Right, yep, that would...
So it's another head
Yeah,
situation.
that would absolutely make sense. Sign number 4, that... I don't know if if I've not already covered this, pissing myself has a suggestion. Read the mask. The mask is so that you can't tell that it's licking its lips, the moose. Just returning to that very quickly. Josie asks whether they may send a coin that they think looks nice. Please do. I would love to see that. If you could, maybe if you tell us in the chat what it is, we can bring it up on the screen. Because I'm not entirely sure how best I would go about opening that in a in one of these frames, because I'm quite an idiot when it comes to OBS. Andrew Banter III confirms that the one of the coins that you've just shown is a good one. So that's nice.
Yes, well, I can say this. So this is the app that I use if people are interested in this. I don't know if you can really see.
Not at
Probably
all.
can't see that at all.
At
But I have I have an app called I believe it's called Coins UK, and
Coins suck.
it has a list of
Coins suck.
coins. No, Coins space UK, and in it you can go into all your 50p's, £1, £2 coin collections and tick them off, and at the top it will show you if the market value is increasing, which it is for all of them. It will tell you the date runs, years of issue, mintage, most importantly, and some information on what is depicted there.
That's
So
good.
I don't know if you wanted me to go through. I can go through the classic, the Britannia.
Yep,
I'm
let's
sure we
just
have one.
very quickly go over to Josie, who has sent me the identity of the coin, which is a 2 Danish kroner from 1994. Is it one of the ones with a hole in? I think it is. Yes. Let's just have a quick look at that. That's a pretty good coin there. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. I do have some sort of hole coins, ones with holes in, back at home. Yeah, thank you very much for that. That looks like a cracking coin. We can see both sides of it here. If we bring that up, pissing myself is pretty pleased with that as well.
That's
very nice arrangement.
Krona.
Yeah, a nice arrangement of crowns there. Does krona, just a question, is that Danish for crown?
Yeah, well, a corona is a crown. It's like you
Right.
use it in a like a halo of light. So a
That's
street lamp has a corona.
yeah. So that's something that
So
I
the virus is named after the crowning appearance of, I guess, the spike proteins.
wow. That's really good.
Not just coin facts. Yeah, all
No.
kinds of facts over here.
Wow. That's I'd never considered any of that before. Josie likes the hearts on the coin, and yeah, they are bloody. That's a nice coin. If we can get a K going in the chat for a nice krona or an NK, I mean, just put your own letters in there. To be honest, but I think it's nice to provide a potential prompt, but ultimately, I think it's all about self-expression. But you know, if you're to provide any letters at this point, we'll know more or less what you're attempting to indicate. They are out of stock on vcoins.com. Would you ever consider buying a coin, Sam? Say that
No.
money weren't an object. Obviously, it is, and that the stream is reliant entirely on money being an object, being represented in objects. But say that money weren't an issue, perhaps, and you really wanted a particular 50p, would you consider?
No, I wouldn't. And for the same reason that I never bought Pokemon cards, because it destroys the
Do you mean
object
bought individual
of
ones or bought any?
individual ones, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh no, I had an extensive
So
Pokemon card collection.
sackload of them. Yeah.
I think especially when it comes to money, because part of I think what makes coin collecting so fun is that you're taking something that has this purely, monetary value, and you're removing it from its original purpose and turning it back into art. I think it's a form of radical anarchy against the banking system. And I think the moment you pay for it, you've just entered back into it, and you've ascribed a worth back onto your collection, which in my eyes renders it worthless.
Did you think that when you started your collection, or have you had to kind of retrofit that justification for
No, I do. I strongly believe that because, again, like I say, my origin for starting this collection was working on, chip vans and, at festivals and up at the Edinburgh Fringe taking bucket donations and leafing through and seeing, just this odd one or two coins here. And, it's the joy. It's always been tied to the joy of discovery.
Yeah.
And you just don't get that with, exchanging a monetary value.
No.
Which is a shame, because there are some really good ones that I could never get, especially I think the Isle of Man have a unique Christmas coin collection, which is just off the chain. I would love to get my hands on some of those. And of course, you got the Gibraltar to do their own special 50p's
yes, I've
as
got
well.
a Gibraltar coin in here somewhere. I don't know whether it's a 50p.
These Christmas coins, though, are the shit. This is like where it's at, to be honest with you. I've got one. So look, I've got Milner's Tower, Isle of Man. That's my only Isle of Man coin.
Oh yeah, let's see. Bring you up on the Sam cam there. That's a very nice tower. Milner's Tower. It's
Milner's
on the
Tower.
Isle of Man.
That's from 2015.
Milner's
Elizabeth number 2
Tower
on the back.
Isle of Man. Elizabeth 2. Yeah. Would you say she's the better of the two available Elizabeths, or what do you?
No.
No, don't know.
Well, Elizabeth first, pretty insurmountable, really, isn't she, in terms of her influence?
Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. A photo from Paul Hollinghurst there from July 2014 of Milner's Tower on a fairly clear day. So a different angle. Let's just see if we can bring one up from the angle that your coin is looking at.
Mine seems to be coming from the ocean.
Oh, good lord! Tell you what, this is this is a fucking trial. No, that's the same angle again. So I'm sorry about that. Let's see if there are any reviews Sort by lowest rating. The lowest available rating for Milner's Tower is from 2 years ago. Stephen Leese had a 3-star trip out to Milner's Tower. Other than that, it is high rankings across the board. 4.9 average.
Any comments from the guy himself?
Stephen Leese has no comments, but maybe we can get an idea of what he might have said from the tenor of some of his other reviews. The only comments... This looks... No, this is all... Not Stephen Leese. Right, okay, this guy's a joker. He has ranked...
Why?
The Irish Sea 1 star. His comment is, found it to be a bit wet.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
He's abusing the good faith system of the reviews.
Yeah, he's also reviewed Hampton by Hilton, Liverpool / John Lennon Airport. 3 stars 2 years ago. Nice, tidy, friendly staff. Towels could be used as sandpaper, but other than that, good.
Now that seems like a legitimate review.
Yep.
So this guy contains multitudes.
Pissing myself notes that this is possibly getting some crossover with a previous Consignia stream here. But I mean, you know, I'm just exploring the avenues as they present themselves. Cineworld Cinema Liverpool, 4 stars. Still smells new. Baldy concedes that the Irish Sea is quite wet. Pepsi Max Bowl and Leisure Centre on the Queen's Promenade, Ramsey, Isle of Man. Really good, but slow service lets it down. 4 stars. Only let it down by 1 star. The owner says, "Thank you, Stephen. All our food is made with fresh local produce, but worth the wait, hopefully." So,
Doesn't seem very confident.
Yep. Stephen Leese may have been trying to feature on a Consignia stream, is pissing myself's point there. Thank you very much for clarifying that. I was too stupid to realise that was what you were suggesting, because I failed to actually read the text of your comment and jumped straight to a conclusion, which is entirely my error, so please do not apologise. I should be apologising to you, and indeed am. I'm sorry. Let's have another look at another coin. We mentioned a 50p. The Isle of Gibraltar 50p, wasn't it, that we were talking about? I don't have one of those, but I have found a coin that has a 50 on it. The number. Wow! We've got a wow there. This is an Australian 50-cent piece, which obviously has the classic kangaroo and emu standing either side of a shield. On there, let's see what else. I can't really make out what's on the kind of shield crest sort of thing, but that's by the by, really, isn't it? So there's the Queen on the back, or the front, as we established earlier.
Well, exactly. Still not heard back from my friend.
No, that is a shame.
Canadian friend.
That is a shame.
The message has sent, but has not been seen.
Yeah.
I'm happy to update.
It's quite a big, hefty coin, this. It's from 2006. I don't know what I would have... Well, I'd have been doing my GCSEs in 2006. And this coin would have been being born. Baldy suggests that might have been part of the treaty when Australia lost the Great Emu War, the inclusion on the crest.
Well, that assumes that the emus were in a position to make demands.
Yeah. Sean Morley has just. Well, I mean, I think Baldy is suggesting that there was either it was a loss for Australia, the human side of Australia, or it was they sued for peace, both sides. The smallest coin.
Happy to.
Sean Morley, carry on.
So, happy to clarify, they did lose the Emu War. The emus did win that war, but I'm still contending that even with a victory, the emus would not have been capable of negotiating terms.
Right. Is that due to a lack of language, or
Yes.
a lack of conception of, that
Well, that too.
probably didn't understand the terms of the war in the first place?
The point is, I don't know what the fuck was going on
No.
at any point. No.
Sean asked what the smallest coin covered so far is. Smallest in size was this 25 cents Canadian coin. Possibly the smallest in actual value was this. Let me just zoom out. This Kazakhstani tenge, 200 of those, which was worth not a
God, that's all of them.
great deal. Hi, Becky.
Oh, Andy says hi. Sorry, Andy. I was trying to get some
have you
Haribo surreptitiously, but
Right, you've eaten a lot of Haribo, have you?
oh no, I just put my hand in too far. I overstepped my boundaries. Let me give you some more back. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 Haribo, which that is it's too many.
Which have you got left? Which
Well, I haven't started any of them. Becky,
was it 9 bags?
Well, it was more that I think she came over to offer me, have a Haribo,
Right.
and I just sort of I put my hand in too far,
Right, you've come out
and
with a real
just
haul.
took way too many.
Yeah.
Well, I put some back, and now we're still standing at 8. So I would say that probably overstepped my mark.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Sorry about that.
No, that's perfectly fine. It's always nice to know what's going on. So the Kazakhstani tenge 200 tenge note, that's pretty small. I was trying to find if I still had the conversion up, but I don't. I do still have this up, however.
I think it stood at 0.0017, didn't it?
I think that was the value. It was 0.0017. That was the value of 1. So obviously 200 times that would be the.
Oh,
the
you're
value
right.
of
Yeah.
the
So
200
I
note.
think it was 3.4 pence in that case.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's. I'm assuming that's less than 25 Canadian cents, or the Australian. The Australian. We've done 3 Australian. Well, no, we've done 2 Australian coins. We've done a 20 cents and a 50. But I have 2 50s. That's why I got confused. Let's head over to a different coin now. Let me just pick out one from here. This is, I'm assuming, a Chinese coin. I'm not entirely sure. I think that's 10 of something. Any knowledge on that in the chat? Josie thinks it was 34p. Go on.
So I was going to say certainly a Chinese coin.
Yeah, those
it's not
Chinese
a yen.
characters, aren't they? Yeah. So
I think a yen has a hole in it.
Is it
Another hold like a corona.
Is it yuan, the Chinese currency?
I do believe you're right. Yeah.
Oh, there's a note. So it must be the smaller currency. All renminbi. That's really thrown that term has
What is it?
Well, it says renminbi there. Oh, sorry, that window's not showing. I mean, that's confusing to me.
And that's a Chinese currency, is it?
Well,
no, it says Chinese
yuan.
yuan.
Chinese yuan. And does China have 2 currencies? Yeah, now we're getting into the meat of it.
One
China
country,
is
2 currencies.
not one to play by the rules when it comes to currency, and so while most countries
Or human
are,
rights.
well, that's a bit of a weighty issue to be diving into here. I mean, we've only just established what's the most respectful way to present a coin. I don't know if we can really get into the nitty gritty of international human rights abuses. So while most countries are happy with one currency, China has 2. Confusingly, both are referred to as the yuan or renminbi, and both have the same banknotes, but crucially they are not worth the same. So that's a real fucker as far as
That is incredibly confusing.
everything.
Yeah, what does it mean, have the same banknote? What does that even mean? Surely that would just mean that like fraud would be rife. You would just say, what's worth more right now, the yuan or the renminbi? And you'd be like, well, this is that one.
I think you've really hit upon the key issue of our present understanding of what the system is. But I'm sure that Mr. Shi has come up with some workaround for that, or set down some guidelines. I don't know what this coin is. I'm just going to bring that into... Oh, I think this might be an Israeli coin. I think. But it's very, very small. So let me just get the coin cam back up. It's very small. Wow! Having another wow there. Look at that. Very small.
Oh, wow. A one. What is that?
One.
Shekel?
I think it might be 1 shekel. I'm not entirely sure. It's got
shekel.
It's got a fairly nice reverse there. I mean, is that
that's
the
pretty
reverse?
beautiful.
We do not know. It's got a W.
Can we see the flip side quickly again?
Yeah, well, for the one. I think I have another.
That is interesting.
So I want.
So now we're in a position where there's no head.
We are. We have crossed the Rubicon here. The head Rubicon. I don't know if that's it even makes any sense in any fucking context, to be honest.
No.
I've got those other, I assume, Israeli coins there, and I think they're shekels as well. Beautiful coin, says Andrew Banter III. Nice clean design, says Pissing Myself. Almost varnished, comments Andrew again. I mean, they are pretty shiny, nice bits, and there's a sort of ridging on the it's kind of like rough ridging on the 10. Which is pretty pleasant. You can sort of run your nail over it, and if you were in a situation where you required an incredibly small washboard for a minuscule skiffle band, then and you happen to have one of those to hand, you would not be in want of a washboard for very long, because you could
play the gig.
Purpose that as yeah. I mean, you'd have to really mic it up. But there we go. So that's Is it smaller,
I like that. Very clear where it's from as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Josie asks whether it is smaller than 1 euro cent. I do have 1 euro cent here, and I can confirm that 1 euro cent is marginally smaller. Has anyone in the
Can
chat
we see it on top of each other?
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Are you having a can?
Confirmed. Yeah.
What are you having a can of?
Well, that's really good stuff, actually. It comes from Lidl.
Yeah.
But look at the design on this. You just wouldn't believe it. It's called...
Bringing Sam Cam up there.
Wow.
Getting a wow there in the chat.
Yeah, sorry, let me get my fingers out of the way. I think it's called a Dramby... Oh, I need to turn it around so I can see it. A steam brew.
Wow.
And it's got a sort of steampunky, very steampunk design, actually. Lots of cogs, clear chrome, steel. You've got this like central Hellenistic figure in the center, which steampunk heads, they love that kind of stuff. And it's got a very nice, rich, full-bodied ale flavour to it.
That's nice. I might have... what I might do, as Andrew Banter has asked... ale or lager, which I think you've answered by saying that it's an ale. Here's also...
No, well, I think it's a session ale, yeah.
Right. He has also asked
IPA.
what the percentage is.
Oh, let's have a look. The only thing I would say against it, it's very hard to read gold on silver.
Yeah. So
you have to really get it in the light. If
you were asked to redesign this can, you would have already identified one of the sort of core areas that you'd be focusing on.
As a graphic designer, I would say this is most likely the note that I would get back.
Yeah.
Illegible. 4.9.
4.9. Ooh, big boy. I just have one quick comment to make. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run downstairs and get myself a can and possibly also have a wee as well. But if you would be able to run everyone through, are you still there? You've
Yeah, I'm still here.
You're still there. Sorry, your
I
video.
can see that I'm frozen.
Yeah. If you're able to keep the chat entertained with a couple of 50p's, bit of chat about those. But before I go, I'm just going to present this centimo. Let me just bring the coin cam back up there. Look at that. I think there's a very small chance that it is even smaller than a €1 cent. I don't know if you can tell there, but let's just position those.
Oh, it's marginal, isn't it?
It is marginal, but let me just get it.
I think we've
There's
established
some
that
to
the one on the bottom is not in contention. So I think you should take that out so we
remove
can get a
that.
clearer.
Have the centimo. It's Peruvian, and I think. Sorry, let's just positioning these right in there. It's difficult to tell, isn't it?
Put them on top of each other again.
Okay. Now, you know what? They could well be exactly the same size.
No, that's impossible.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Because if you did that, then I guess I'm assuming a vending machine wouldn't be able to tell the difference, and you'd be open to all kinds of problems if somebody from... Is it Peruvian, did you say?
It's Peruvian, yeah. There's a different...
If someone from Peru
There's a very different...
wanted to take advantage of the system.
Can you hear this?
Yeah. It's ridged, is it? You can tell there's a more of a rim shot on it.
No, I think the thing is that it's just a lot lighter. Goliath Frog says the Centimo looks like something you use to play games at a seaside arcade. Well, it might be, but if it isn't, then this fucker, one token, absolutely is. That's the guy for the... That's the
What's
guy
the
for
exchange rate on that?
One East Links Family Park token gets you one chick. Or maybe,
Makes
as
sense.
we established earlier, given that they need to get rid of them, you get a token and a chick. I don't know.
Okay.
Joseph,
So the East Links currency is linked to the gold standard of the chick.
yeah, I mean, and yeah, the coloration of the chick as well. There you go. There's the little. Oh no, I need to bring the again. Wow. I need to stop the wows starting on the beginning of the scene.
I like it.
I think it's quite good, but it does throw me off a little bit. Baldy has noticed that Baldy and Pissing Myself have noticed that the one token has a little has no confidence in itself. It is not.
Quotation marks.
It is not even able to, or not willing to confidently identify as a token. It merely wishes to imply that maybe you could consider it a token.
You think the quotation marks are being used as sarcasm indicators?
Think they look sarcastic to me.
Okay.
Fair enough. I don't know how. I don't know how I would judge non-sarcastic quotation marks. Probably in a book around speech. But then,
well, the other option is that it's just a quote that's been placed on what is otherwise a completely meaningless disc, and that this disc is not actually one token. One token is just merely the quote that has been placed upon the disc.
Yeah. What would you quote on a disc? I'll leave
one
you.
token.
I would probably put a higher monetary value on the disc. If I were to have one of my quotes put on a disc, I'd say £100. Or
right.
Not wishing to go too mad there. Pissing myself suggests that there is a complex semiological issue going on here. Goliath Frog posits that it could be a misspelling of Tolkien. Don't know if Tolkien has an East Links Family Park connection, but I will leave you. Token suggests Pissing Myself. It could be a Will Smith reboot. Token, in which an inventor has come up with a token which does not adhere to the rules of the other tokens in order to highlight a fundamental flaw in some new tokens that are being rolled out, which could threaten humanity.
I mean, I got to say, I think to attribute iRobot to Will Smith and not Isaac Asimov is pretty insulting. I think he would not be happy with that.
Well, he's dead. Will Smith is still alive. So I know who I'm deferring to in this situation. It's the guy who's still alive and has got a lot of money. I'm going to go and get a can. If you can keep everyone entertained for a few moments.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll try my best. It's very gratifying to be given the reins of the stream for a brief moment. People who have ever watched me stream before will know my internet renders this pretty much an audio-only experience, but I'll do my best to show you some interesting coins that I've got that we've not had a chance to go over yet. This is something we've not touched upon. So we've had Isle of Man, but this is from Jersey, and this is the Bailiwick of Jersey. Let me hold it here for a good 10 seconds to let you get a little look in there. This is the only coin from Jersey that I have, but I'm very proud of it. And it shows a little stone arch, or I guess what we would call a causeway, or a bridge, I suppose, spanning some form of water. I've never been to Jersey. I have no idea what the Bailiwick of Jersey is. Most interesting about this coin, if you note on the back, we have the very familiar visage of Queen Lizzie herself, Queen Lizzie II. Let me get that positioned. But format of the name, Queen Elizabeth II, is written out not in Roman numerals, but written II. And you do not see that on any other coin, as far as I'm aware, other than the ones that come from Jersey. Why is that? Here's a good one you might like. This is another very special one for my collection. Now, people looking at that at home might think, what's so good about that? We've all seen the Britannia coin before. You know, outside of the other normal 50p design, Britannia is, that's the most common 50p. Well, look at this. For comparison, here's another 50p. Let me hold that here for the camera to catch up. And you can see this 50p is actually much bigger. Let me show you that there. They're different sizes, and in fact this is not a 50p, but it is a 50 new pence, and it is from 1977, and that is possibly the oldest coin in my collection, a big fat new pence.
Wow.
All 50's worth. Put that over there.
Wow. So I'm just getting my breath back.
Did you run, or?
Well, I sort of bounded up the first flight of stairs, and by the second one I was pretty knackered. Haven't been going out for my my one mandated little bit of exercise for quite some time. So I am very, very unfit. We've had a bit of stuff going on in the chat. Goliath Frog has said viaduct. I don't know what that's in relation to. Possibly something that you were talking about, I assume.
It's a viaduct, yeah. Well, we were discussing, Andy. Sorry, I put a Haribo in my mouth.
No, that's all right. You go right ahead, my friend.
I was showing the chat, Andy. I have a coin from Jersey.
Yes, the Bailiwick. Is that Bailiwick? Is that how you?
The Bailiwick of Jersey.
Yeah.
And I was saying I think I said it was a bridge. Or I can't remember the other word I used to describe it, but I think a viaduct might now be looking like the most likely thing. But Andy, little fact for you, because you missed this.
Yep.
I was saying the most interesting thing about this coin, on the back, they spell Queen Elizabeth II's name out fully in letters. They don't use Roman numerals.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and that actually contextualises the comment from Josie, which I was going to move on to next, which is don't like Roman numerals in Jersey. Pissing Myself says normally only see Elizabeth II, that on history essays trying to bump up the word count. And Andrew Banter III was kicked for caps, which I'm sorry about that. I have got the chat bot functioning, but I don't know how to sort of change the parameters of what it considers to be offensive. So I'm really sorry about that, Andrew Banter. That was
Sorting the
not,
chat from the chaff.
Yeah, and considering it at all chaff, seemingly, it's really officious and something of a cop and narc, the chat bot. So I mean, Pissing Myself and Baldy, I think at some other point have already made their feelings very clear on the chat bot. So you know, that's already been covered, and it's not remotely your fault, Mr. Banter. Let's pop over to another coin here. I've got my can now. I'm drinking a can of Budvar, standard Budvar that you get from the shop near me.
Those are nice. With the matte feel to them. They're not shiny, are they?
No, nice can feel there. So this coin is it's from Gibraltar. I think we discussed Gibraltar earlier. That is a thick
Yes,
ridge.
they do. They have their own 50p's.
Can you see that? Well, this is a 20, obviously. But yeah, and we were speaking about the 50s earlier, and I thought that I'd seen a Gibraltar coin amongst this big old heap, and I was right. Here it is. So let's have a look at the other side of this. The other side is a big load of keys. So this would present a challenge to if we were discussing a coin presentation, what's the most respectful way to present a coin to somebody? This would present a challenge if you were presenting this coin to a baby, of course. Would the baby wish to be facing the Queen, or wish to be facing the probably sort of more engaging on a sort of basic sensory level bunch of keys, shiny, jangling? I think I know what I'm going for.
Right. But I don't think it's about sensory entertainment, is it? Because otherwise the whole debate falls apart, because with most coins, the most exciting aspect is not the Queen, it's the other side.
No, but I think that once you leave babyhood, you are more able to sort of engage your sense of social propriety and deference to the monarch, whereas a baby probably wouldn't have any of those considerations.
I just think it's a strange
built into
reframing of the debate to introduce age as a variable factor into the presentation of the coin. If we're basing it off respect, I still think, well, fundamentally, one, a baby would not be unaccompanied in the presence of the Queen.
Right.
So I still think the deference automatically goes to the Queen. I mean, obviously, again, we've got a much more politically complicated situation in Gibraltar. So
yeah,
you know,
I mean, if it's a Spanish baby, then
keys first.
Yeah, and it might use those keys to unlock the sort of chains that bind Gibraltar to the UK.
Yeah, I mean, for me, having never seen one before, this is quite a piece of propaganda. I've never seen the Queen referred to solely as Queen of Gibraltar. We don't have on our currency Queen of England.
No, we don't.
It just says what her name is.
It does.
So
you're absolutely
and then
right.
to flip it over and see a pair of keys, which are a symbol.
It's not even a pair of keys, is it? That's 4 keys.
A pair of pairs.
Pair of keys. Pissing Myself suggests that the key goes through the door before the head, so keys are heads and head is tails.
What about the program Through the Keyhole? Because in that show, the camera goes straight through the keyhole without use of the key.
Right.
So it'd be head first.
But the head in that situation has got to be because the. I don't know.
Have you ever seen it?
I have, yeah. Well, I mean,
So there's no keys
My
involved.
main familiarity with it comes from, I think, probably on, those sort of late 90s, early noughties British Radio 4 comedy impression shows, and Rory Bremner and stuff like that, always doing impressions of Lloyd Grossman, because he was, let's be fair, a recognisable voice and pretty easy to do if that's your stock in trade. So they were all doing that.
I still feel a bit like if you turned on Radio 4, they would still be doing that
Almost certainly.
right now.
Almost certainly, which is probably why we need to diversify the writers' rooms. The main reason...
I've got nothing wrong with punt.
Oh, God. Right. What do you think of the font?
It's made for a child.
Do you think so? Do you think it's too...
Yeah, a child could read that. I think it's passive aggressive as a font.
It does
honestly,
strike me as
it's
a slightly aggressive font. Personally,
it's a real statement of intent.
yeah.
I got to say the workmanship is pretty crap. The 20 is bleeding over the margins.
Yeah.
The writing itself is coming very close again to the cutting margins. There's not enough bleed on the outside of that coin.
Josie did note earlier that it is a thick ridge. Let's just have a look at on the other side. Obviously, they've got a lot more kind of text to fit in, but none of it seems particularly well kind of. It doesn't seem to kind of cove around the Queen very well.
No.
So I guess what we're saying here is yeah.
So I would say, because not only that, but you've got the fact that the what we're looking at here? Heptagon. Is it 7? We've got 7 sides.
1, 2, 3. Well, again, it's quite.
I mean, on the inside, exactly. The inner. It's a heptagon on the inside, and then I guess on the outside, what's a 10? A
decagon.
A decagon.
Yeah.
A decagon. Not aligned.
No.
You can see they're very clearly not neatly aligned.
This is shoddy workmanship.
It's shoddy. It is, and it's, to me, it kind of smacks of a bit of a rush job, as though they weren't really expecting to have to do this one.
Well, my own.
Which I think in 2012 is
you should have sorted by
untenable.
Now. If the sort of the state of Gibraltar and its relationship with the UK and with Spain is such a kind of contentious point, you would have thought that the Brits would be particularly keen to kind of lock that down and have a good kind of sense of national identity, and they'd at least give them some good coins.
Yeah, well, they've written it. They've written 20 pence very big, haven't they? And they've really locked that down.
Yeah. So the monetary value has been established very clearly, but the rest of it is the only time that I've ever come across someone from Gibraltar, I was with my friend Chris Reed drinking at the Yorkshire Grey, I think, which is a Sam Smith's pub just off Great Portland Street, and we were having a few pints there, and then these guys came in. Young lads, we must have been, I don't know, what, about 25 at the time, 24, 25, and these lads who were probably about 20 turned up, and we started having a drink with them, and then eventually we ended up going on a night out with them, and it turns out they were from Gibraltar, and one of their dads had bought a flat just round the corner from the Yorkshire Grey, and just owned it. In the real centre of London, and then one of them had some cocaine, and we didn't want to partake in that at the time, so we just fell asleep.
Okay.
I've still got one.
I don't like that pub.
You don't?
Yorkshire Grey. No,
Yeah.
it's one of those big open plan, echoey, expensive drinks
It's
affairs.
not very echoey. Are you talking about,
It didn't remind me of Yorkshire in the
are you
slightest.
talking about the one in... Andrew Banter points out that there's a Yorkshire Grey in Sheffield which has been demolished.
No, it's the one in London off Great Portland Street.
Really? It's pretty small.
No, maybe it's been redone since,
It's
but it's
small.
like big. It's not small. That is not a small pub. Next to the Chinese,
Which Chinese?
there's a Chinese opposite it. I'm going to look it up.
You're thinking of the one on Theobald Street, I think. Whereas I'm talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
Theobald
one
Street.
on
Sorry.
46 Langham. Let's have a look. Wow.
Okay. Well,
Get rid of
Theobald
him.
Street is off Great Portland Street, is it
Yeah,
not?
well, this is up the other...
Not to get too London centric on
This
this
is up, I'm
chat,
sorry. Yeah, I'm
but
sorry about this. This is up the other end of things. So this is... So there's Great Portland Street. There's the Yorkshire Grey Fitzrovia. You can see it's quite a small building there.
okay. Can we get a frontage view of this?
Yep.
Because I mean, it has been a while since I've left the house, but I thought Great Portland Street would take us down into Theobald's Road, as well, where
Yep, it
this
would.
other Yorkshire Grey.
I don't know if it would go all the way down there.
Oh yeah,
That's the
I've
Yorkshire
seen.
Grey
I've
that
not
I'm
been in here.
talking
This looks very nice. Shame it's a Sam Smith's.
Yeah, well, you can't say fuck in there or any other naughty words. Andrew Banter has demanded, absolutely demanded, that I bring up the demolished Sheffield Yorkshire Grey. Would you like to offer anything on that?
Having lived in Sheffield for 4 to 5 years of my life, I've got to say, I've maybe forgotten which one it is.
Right, okay.
I don't know if I remember this.
Well, I mean, it's been demolished, so it all depends on when the... Hello, Will. Hello, Night Screen. So the Andrew Banter is saying that this has been demolished. There's the Roebuck Tavern there, and I don't know exactly where the Yorkshire Grey would have been. See if we can...
This is near the sort of which part of town? I don't usually go to this side of town because it's a bit. It looks like this. It's one of those places you walk past lots of anonymous buildings for ages and never really.
So that's always been the Roebuck. So hello very much. Hello very much. God damn. Hello very much to Will Night Screen. Lovely to have you with us. How are you doing? We were looking at the Yorkshire Grey because I was telling a story about barely even a story. I was mentioning in relation to this. Wow! This 20p piece from Gibraltar. I was mentioning that the only time that I've met anyone from Gibraltar was when I was drinking with a friend in the Yorkshire Grey. And then we got on to discussing other Yorkshire Greys which have existed in July 2011. So you say it was opposite, on the same side. It's opposite the Roebuck Tavern on the same side. Where that is?
Where this gap is here. I mean, they've presumably knocked this through. This looks like one of these like late 10s urban green developments where they like knock something through, put a couple of trees there to justify putting some office space in.
Looks like it was still there in 2011. Have been in the Great Portland Street Yorkshire Grey a good few times. Quite nice. Well, you would have been, Will, wouldn't you? Because you would be in the Beeb building, and it would be around there quite a lot. Do you mean round the corner, Banter? I don't know if I'm necessarily ever going to find this, and I don't rightly know how much value there will be to me finding.
I got to say, I do now know what section of town we're in, and it's not a place I would really bother going because I mean you can see for yourself it's just one of these officey sort of districts.
I mean you cannot go there now because it has been. I didn't mean to say I don't know if there's any worth to it. That was not that was rude of me, and I'm really sorry.
It's been interesting to see the Genting Casino. The architectural style here is very Sheffield for me. And also you'll see it a lot in Birmingham. I think it's one company that do this.
Fox
it was
Dog.
like
Fox Dog are with us, and they also say Genting Casino. So, boom, says Banter. So that's good.
what, as being the new site.
I don't know. It's possible
They're
that
just
they
saying.
would just. They've got one in Manchester. Great place to be. Josie says hello to Fox Dog, and Night Screen says the architectural style is very similar to the one in Leicester. So there's an absolute
It's
spate of
one
these fuckers.
company who do them all, and they do. It's really horribly ugly, aggressive. I don't quite know what the architectural term for it is, but it does have its own thing, and
You
it's
talk about
like
all of these kind of knobbly.
2005 to 2050. Yeah, the Diamond is another good example in Sheffield, and the IC building,
Okay.
and in Birmingham. Well, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they've got a whole bunch of this kind of like all teals. It's all teals and like strange glittering facades, and inside is all open plan and not very well managed space.
Peter Madarash said, "I'm here 20 minutes ago and no one served me. Good job."
Good job.
Gareth May, 4 months ago, restaurant food stunk terrible, couldn't order drinks, waste of time, don't bother trying. Malcolm Hill says, awful COVID-19 restrictions make you feel like a leper, and the staff were as miserable as the weather. That was 3 months ago, so that would have been, November-ish, would it have been? So I can imagine that being... Paul Murphy said, sat drinking a pint and a bouncer told me I needed a face mask. Paul Martin, the £25 for recommending a friend was not honoured, and the manager didn't want to know. Quite rude, actually. I will not return. Jonathan Homer.
Fair dues.
I was part of a group who paid £200 for a table in the VIP area for the McGregor fight. It was great as first, but after about 2 hours the area filled up with people who got in for free through the restaurant, several of who were violent towards us, picking our stuff up and throwing it around and pushing us off the sofas. I'm either never going again or I'm doing the same as everyone else and getting into the best seats in the house for free, like everybody else.
Not good.
I went to the boxing match at the casino and I was bullied off the sofas. I will not be returning to this casino. Very poor. Waste. Tea. Let into casino past 2 a.m. Bouncers are a bunch of tosses. Never been to somewhere so shocking. Let's just catch up on the chat. These people sound like losers, says Foxdog. Night Screen says, down the road from the Travelodge, which is over the road from a lot of buildings that look exactly like this. I think that's in relation to the casino in Leicester. Sing along to the reviews. Like Yep.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, I looked it up, and they also did the Scottish Parliament, if you want a reference point for that kind of architectural style. It's just nonsense. People who think they live in the future and they need to grow up.
Yeah. I mean, why would you...
Start living in the present and making proper buildings.
You can make the future look however you like. Why make it all angular and horrid? I mean, I like brutalism, but this stuff is just manky.
This isn't brutalism, is it?
No, I know.
It's nonsense.
Yeah. Fancied a bit of blackjack on a Friday evening around 6 p.m, which also ended up being match day. Chef It's versus Chef Wed. I was on my own and had no interest.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, but what's Chef It's?
I think they're called the Owls, aren't they? I don't know.
Yeah,
the Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield It's.
Yeah, that's the bit that I'm having
called
trouble
the
with.
It's.
Sheffield Wednesday, I'm familiar with. I'm not. That's not my stumbling block here. The Chef It's is. I mean, is it possible to fuck up doing United on the keyboard?
Yes.
Yes, I suppose. Yes.
Okay,
fair enough.
Yeah, I'm trying it myself now, and you could. If you miss the U, and then you completely miss out the N, and then you've got it.
Chef It. I was on my own and have no interest in football. Dorman asked if I was a member, which I am, but didn't have my card. Wouldn't even let me prove it at the reception. Just refused me entry. Don't definitely won't be heading into here again. Maybe teach your doormen the difference between a group of drunken football fans and a solo guy wanting to play the tables.
It sounds like they've got a problem between whether or not they are a casino or a sports bar. Seems to be the fundamental nub of these negative reviews is about people who have come to play the tables and have ended up being confronted with people who are there to watch the sport.
Event. Yeah.
Yeah.
But why would you pay £200 to go and watch the McGregor fight in a casino? Well, I suppose if it's a group and it's a big group, then maybe you know that shakes out at not too much money in one go. But you've got to be anticipating it being a little bit, I don't know. Dale Walton, food was banned and tasteless. I'll be going back there again. Dale Walton has done 117 other reviews.
Do you think this was latter day work or juvenalia?
He reviewed the B&Q in Sheffield on Penistone Road a week ago and absolutely loved
B&Q.
it. 5 stars.
Quite right.
No comments necessary. Similarly, home bargains on Broad Street, Rotherham. Another smashed it out the park again. 5 stars. Costco, Sheffield, 5 stars 4 months ago. 5 months ago, went to the Bay Horse in Rotherham and had an amazing had a beer. I assume had a beer. Had a great selection of drinks in an amazing beer garden after having taken the dog for a long walk. Didn't enjoy Lidl in Rotherham. 2 stars. Store okay. Not great. He is a level 6 reviewer. Josie, do you know what the deal is with the levels of reviews? I've never looked into this all much. I assume that's quite low. Had great service from Kyle in the garage Sheffield 7 months ago.
I find it so interesting that at a time where people are becoming more and more aware of the way that their data is used online, that there are still like another camp of people like this who just
I am going to document everywhere that I have been, everyone that I have met, and how much I've enjoyed it. Pissing myself suggests that it could be the elusive Kyle Bushy who has been referred to here. If you've not been along to one of my Thursday night football streams, Kyle Bushy is someone who, on one of our early outings on Thursday Night Football, attempted to confuse me, to trick me into thinking that he had donated $690 to me by doing a clever little trick with the colour of his text. So we've been searching for him ever since. He could be working at the garage in Sheffield. So when that opens back up again, if we've got a reporter in Sheffield, if you could pop along and... although it being a hospitality venue, I suppose there's a chance that Kyle has been let go in the 7 months since this review was logged.
Well, I hope he's furloughed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. Even if he is trying to confuse me into thinking that I've been given some money, I don't wish him a great deal of ill will. Just enough to make him, think about his conduct with others. Cosmo World Buffet Restaurant Sheffield, Unit 2, City Lofts Tower, St Paul's Place. 3 stars. Nice price. Nice for the price. Brackets. Lunch.
Oh, you went there for lunch? That's pretty crazy. I mean, I can confirm it's one of those, like, what's it called? Jimmy Eats World. Is that the name of the restaurant?
Jimmy Eat World?
I'm pretty sure there was a place in Birmingham called Jimmy Eats World.
Is it really?
I don't know now. I don't know. I might be thinking of, isn't there a band that's called Jimmy Eats
Jimmy
World?
Yeah. I don't. Maybe it was named after the band, but it would seem an odd choice. Josie has noticed, as I have, the dog from. I don't know whether this is Dale Walton's dog. He took the Thorpe Hesley fish bar. Amazing. Even the dog loved it.
The dog looks incredibly strange. The dog looks like a cyclops.
The dog is... I don't know what it's loving there.
I think it's a bit of battered... Oh.
Okay.
How big is that dog's eye?
Bigger than the chip.
It's a human eye. That's like a human eye.
Well, those were the reviews of Dale Walton. We've somehow found ourselves in the Gulf of Guinea here. I don't know how that's happened, but never mind. Pissing myself suggests that dogs are notoriously discerning when it comes to chips, so that must have been a good chip.
The implication is that he has a very pernickety dog, isn't it?
Yeah. Normally, my dog would hate this sort of fare, but actually, you've passed his quality test. Oh, we're back on the Milner's Tower there. Get rid of that tab. Let's do another coin then, I suppose, because we're doing a... How are you for time, Sam? I don't know when you need to be getting off. I'm having a nice time, but I'm conscious that other people probably do have...
I'm having a lovely time. I'll check in with Becky and see. We're having a very lovely dinner tonight, so I'll have to make sure that we leave with good time.
What are you
we're
having?
getting it ordered in.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my little baby boy, let me tell you, it's a proper day. From Salou, just down the road.
Hello.
And they're delivering it out. Hello. And I am having... What am I having? It's all kinds of crazy Italian words I've never heard before, but I'm having is it called a bruato or so? Some sort of lovely cheese dish.
Right.
And I was going to get the I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting the beef brisket.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, bourguignon.
Bourguignon.
Beef brisket bourguignon.
If anyone else in the chat has dinner rather on the go at the moment, or has designs on a tasty dinner, ordering something in, or cooking from scratch, do let us know. We're keen to find out about that.
I'll get the menu up. Let me get the menu because it's salivating stuff.
Burrata. Is that
burrata? Thank you. Yeah.
Andrew Banter the Third's got there with that one.
Safe. That's real good. Yeah. So listen. So first up, I was going to get. It wants me to download it now. Okay, fine.
Oh, yeah. That's a scam.
We can do that.
That's a scam.
It's opening it now.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's really struggling to open a docx. This is how good it is. Okay, right. So I was going to get the beef carpaccio, which is like thinly sliced raw beef, because I'll eat anything raw. I'm a big advocate of raw meat.
Okay.
Big raw
I hope
head.
this isn't something which is unpleasant for anyone. If the sight of lots of raw meat is unpleasant, I will get off this immediately. It appears to be a sort of
it's very thinly sliced, so don't worry about it.
With some sort of rocket a lot of rocket on top of it, and is that some sort of
yeah? Well, this one would have been with globe artichokes, but
right,
I'm having the burrata now with truffled mushrooms.
Hello to Pete and or Lise who have just joined us. We're reviewing Sam Nicoresti's order from Salou, was it?
Yeah. Hello.
An Italian restaurant near
or French
or French. His and Becky's gaff that they're having a sort of romantic Valentine's takeaway from. I've
basically
said if anyone has any other dinner plans that they're engaging in, either ordering food in or cooking it from scratch, do let us know in the chat, because we'd love to discuss what is forthcoming for you. Something is being cooked downstairs in my house. I'm not sure entirely what, but usually it's very good fare, so I'm expecting a very tasty dinner later on. Carry on with your carpaccio chat.
Sorry. So yeah, the carpaccio was what I really wanted, but then I felt I wanted to get bourguignon I wanted to get the beef brisket for Maine, and I didn't want to double beef it, so then I switched to burrata, which is a type of cow's cheese. Apparently they can do that now. So I'm getting that. Yeah, it's crazy, but it looks lovely, and I'm getting that with some truffled mushrooms.
So it's a sort of
and then
orb of cheese.
Orb of cheese, yeah. Cheese orb.
Chorb.
Yeah. And it's not, I don't know, you can't quite tell from that if that's going to have like the consistency of cream or the consistency of mozzarella, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, it is difficult to tell there, isn't it? I would have,
Yeah, it
from
is.
first glances, I would have assumed that it was going to be a sort of mozzarella type thing, and the sort of suggestions along the top bar here are pizza, mozzarella, prosciutto, and stracciatelle. So
Okay.
perhaps that is an indicator of the sort of consistency that you're going to have there. We've got some
Okay.
dinners coming in on the chat. Pissing myself is about to going very much the opposite way to you. Well, not going perhaps a sort of parallel direction. About to stick a vegan beef Wellington in the oven.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that the opposite
No,
direction.
yeah. Well, that's why I corrected myself to parallel. I'm sorry that I opted for the incorrect word in the first place, but I think I course corrected appropriately. But if you feel that I
Yes.
have erred, then Andrew Banter the Third says, "Is that with the beetroot?" Is it?
The
I
starter,
don't know.
no, but well, no, it comes with truffled mushrooms, as I said, and brown butter croutons, and I think Becky's having ham hock terrine. Is that right? Oh, she says it's none of your business. So
Okay, yeah. No,
I'll
of
tell you what
course.
I'm.
Absolutely not.
I'm having the burrata, and I'm having the beef brisket bourguignon with smoked bacon, onion, mushrooms, and pomme puree or puree. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Well, it's apple sauce, isn't it?
I thought you were doing. I thought potpourri was what you were trying to say there.
I'm just reading you what's written down.
Yep, no, fair enough. Andrew Banter clarifies that the beetroot remark was aimed at pissing myself and pissing myself's vegan beef Wellington with the beetroot. So that makes sense. Now, Josie.
Okay, because there is a beetroot tartare option on here, so that's why it's confusing.
Aha, yeah, okay. That's fair enough. Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Josie has just had a bacon-wrapped chicken with asparagus and potatoes. Bog standard, but it was nice. So you can't say fairer than that. Asparagus, very underrated veg. Imo. Josie's opinion.
Yeah, with a bit of prosciutto, something like that. Bit of lardons,
Bit of
butter,
lardons.
lemon drizzle on a bit of lemon.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that the asparagus is good. Of course, that had that good scene in Phantom Thread. Have you seen Phantom Thread?
I've seen Phantom Menace.
Yeah, practically the same film. Swap out Darth Maul for Daniel Day-Lewis, and instead
You could do.
Instead of giving him a sort of maniacal desire to catch and kill the Jedi, replace that with a monomaniacal desire to have his toast and asparagus served just the way that he likes it, and you've pretty much got the film, I think.
Okay, I've seen Daniel Day-Lewis characters before, and they all seem to have some form of culinary hang-up.
Foible, yeah.
Milkshakes.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's it, really.
My favourite.
I don't know what his deal was in Gangs of New York, but I bet he had a thing.
Yeah, it's getting a proper New York slice, I think.
Where's my New York slice?
Yeah, that was it. I've not seen the film, but all of
That's
my.
pretty much the whole thing.
It's amazing that was it snubbed for an Oscar, or did it win one? I don't know. Gangs of New York cartoon. Let's see if there's anything funny that comes up for that. No, not really. Anyway, back to the chat.
It's quite a stab in the dark, really, wasn't it? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wow. Seek and ye shall find.
Yeah. This is one from the football stream, but you might appreciate the picture. It's the Nebraska Cornhuskers football mascot. Oh, come on, search for me, please. What's going on here? Why is that not coming up?
You can't have that many terms.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can't put all of that into a Google search.
I absolutely can, and I will. There you go.
Hey.
If I was part of Ronald Reagan's security detail, I would not be letting him in within fucking 100 feet of this guy.
It's true. Yeah. Didn't he get shot? Didn't he?
He
Reagan?
did. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, we can give that a wow. There we go. There's a wow.
Wow.
I think Reagan getting shot is one of the most commonly cited examples of situational. I think it's situational irony. I always get confused with my different types of irony because he got shot by his bulletproof car because the gunshot missed him and ricocheted off his bulletproof car.
Oh wow!
He got shot by his bulletproof car,
Yeah.
and I think that's an example of. It's obviously an example of some form of irony. It might be situational,
Yeah.
or it might not be.
Well, that's good.
Might
That's
be comic.
comic irony.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
maybe.
I mean, certainly, like if you can't, if some personal standards prevents you from finding the fact that Ronald Reagan got shot funny, then at least you might be able to find some amusement in the circumstances in which he got
That's
shot.
it. Yeah, if it's not comic, it might be cosmic.
Yeah.
You know, those are the kind of
Yeah.
the catch-all ironic terms, aren't they?
Shall we have a look at another coin?
Yeah. Do you want me to show you one of mine, or
Yeah, go for
do you want
it.
to?
Yeah, bring one up. I've
Okay,
still got.
let's have a look.
I've still got the corn husker. There.
Ah, well, hold on a little bit because here's something interesting. I've just found I have a Gibraltar
Oh, you've got the 50p.
50p.
Wow.
I do have a 50p, and it's called The Capture of Gibraltar.
Oh well, it seems a little
1704.
much. Seems a little much to celebrate that on the coin. We'll give that a wow.
So it's more
Wow.
for us than for them.
Yeah.
But there it is, all the same. And you can see there, I don't know if you can see, but there's some ships and...
It's difficult to tell. It looks
Probably-
like, to me, it looks like two badly constructed sort of circus big tops that have been put up in a very sort of close radiant distance of one another, and perhaps the sort of the guy ropes, if that's what you have on a circus big top. I'm just I'm taking a tent here and I'm expanding it out. Looks like the guy ropes have become sort of tangled and they're sort of
No, I think you've got Gibraltar's famous promontory, which I think might be called Gibraltar Rock. Is that
the
true?
Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that's Gibraltar Rock. So yes, if you can get up a picture of, I'll tell you which one it is.
Capture of Gibraltar. Is it that one? Or is that a different
No, that's
one?
a different
that's
version.
An older one. They do seem
Very
pretty
similar, though.
hung up on this kind of stuff. So there's
Imagery.
a Battle of Trafalgar
Yeah.
commemorative. This guy. Is it this guy?
Oh. Yes, it is. That's him. That's the chap.
Captured in 1704, presumably in the Battle of Trafalgar. No, Battle of Trafalgar was 18. What the hell am I talking about? I'm terribly sorry for getting my
Maybe
history
the Battle of
completely
Gibraltar.
wrong. They've also got this. What? How?
What's going on there?
Well, it says COVID-19 at the top. And it has a load of people in masks, one of them in goggles as well. It says to commemorate the global fight against COVID-19. We unite as one 2020. So it appears that the Gibraltar has, after having cracked out, as we've discussed, this really, really low effort.
Wow.
20p there. It appears they've really jumped the gun on putting out a COVID-19 coin before it's even safely back in the hutch.
Well, it's all been politicized now, anyway, hasn't it? All these coins. You have to be very careful. I mean, for me, it became very difficult because they did a Brexit 50p when we left at the start of the year, and that for me was, I think, an insult because it's turning coin collecting back into this sort of jingoistic pastime, which I just think it isn't. You know, I think it's a slap in the face.
Josie suggests that it's
not
because...
that I'm saying that like celebrating the fight against COVID is a politicized.
Josie is suggesting that the bloody Tories want to get rid of it, whereas I say welcome COVID to.
Let's have more of it.
We can learn to live together. Josie says Gibraltar's not had COVID for months, so that might be it.
Still premature to put out a coin.
It does seem, you're going to have to recall those the second you get a positive. Pete.
Well, let me tell you this, because that's exactly what happened with the Brexit. They put out the Brexit 50p coin in time for when we were scheduled to leave, to secede from the union, and obviously it didn't happen. And so they had to destroy them. I think there was about 8 million of them. 50p's burnt. That's a lot. Well, not burnt, but smouldered, smelted.
Burnt.
Charged crisp.
Yeah, they're still trying to get rid of them. The fire has been ongoing. Wow.
Wow.
Pete and or Lise suggests, what type of irony would it be to catch COVID from that coin? Asks, rather.
It's an interesting question, isn't it? I don't think it's not situational, nor is it particularly comic. It's not cosmic because it's really your own fault.
Yeah.
So what types of irony are left open to us?
I don't know. I've
Hoisted
just
by your own
noticed that Night Screen will. I have a very overzealous chatbot which has fucked you up for trying to post some links. So I'm very sorry about that. Perhaps if you, I don't know, message them to me in some format, then I can have a look at them. Josie just providing some extra context. Gibraltar only had 20 deaths, and most of them were in the last month. But
so it sounds like it's just kind of kicking off into gear, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that coin will need to be burnt post haste. They had no deaths in 2020, but they've really upped their game in 2021. Coming on strong, coming for the crown.
It's like that Steve Coogan character, you know. In 1997, no one died.
In 2021, 20 people died. Pete is offering once again to help me sort out the Nightbot, which I will take you up on. Drop me a message, or I will drop you a message, and we can hopefully get that sorted. Will points out that you can buy the Gibraltar COVID 50p for $42.
And this is why, you know, you should never pay money for a coin.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's never worth it.
Let's do a coin. I'm going to pick a coin, any coin, at not at random, because obviously I'm quite clearly scrutinising them to some extent. Let's go for this guy. You see that? Little Hong Kong coin there. I think that's a flower. Actually, I think that
Thistle.
Yeah, let's have a look at the Hong Kong flag, because I think that we will find that it is a similar type of flower to the one present on the flag.
Let's have a look at it whilst we still can.
Yeah. There you go.
Tragic irony, I'm going with. Sorry, I've been looking up irony, and I would say that catching COVID off a COVID is over memorial coin is tragic.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad we've got to the bottom of that, Pete, and or at least let us know if you are happy with that conclusion that catching COVID from the COVID 50p is a tragic irony. Do let us.
The other options were Socratic, poetic, metafiction, millennial awkwardness,
Right.
comic, cosmic, and situational again, which is the Reagan thing. That was situational.
Right. Well, I'm glad that you were correct and you weren't misleading the audience there. That's very good.
No, I know my stuff.
No, you do. You absolutely do. That's why we've got you on. As the resident.
Well, to talk about coins was, 50. I think, where I came on.
No, I mean that was the original brief. That was the original brief, but I was fairly confident that the range of topics covered over the course of the evening, which was probably going to be fairly wide, I was fairly confident that you would be able to hold your own on most fronts.
Well, thanks. That's nice to hear. Just to say as well, though, if you ever want to see more coins,
yeah. Well, let's yeah,
just let me know.
Go for it. Give us a coin.
Oh, okay.
Or I'm happy to go for next Sunday as well.
You wanna... I mean, honestly, I could keep going. Maybe I could show you a £2 coin because we've not done any of those.
Please do.
And that's where it really starts to get crazy. Let's see, where's a good one in here? Oh, look, here's one. That's commemorating old Billy Shakespeare, poet laureate,
who of course died from having a knife thrust up through his head and piercing the top of his crown. Yeah.
I think it's Hamlet, isn't it? I think it says it on there, Hamlet. William Shakespeare, 2016. So they've got the date wrong.
Very wrong. Neither birth nor death. That.
Yeah. It doesn't say Hamlet. Maybe it's Macbeth, actually. Well, I mean, a lot of his plays, let's be honest, were a bit one note.
Yeah, king.
It was often a monarch.
Yeah.
King and knife stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think that's
anyway. So that will be commemorating, presumably, 300 to 400 years of him being alive or dead in some way.
Yeah. Just returning to the COVID 50p. Will points out that it looks disconcertingly shiny on the website. And if we pop over to the coin cam again to take a look at this Hong Kong.
Wow!
This Hong Kong coin. Josie might have this coin, which is exciting. Let's have a look at the other side. We can see that it is $1.
Oh,
it's from 1998.
Another double tail.
Yeah. So just after the handover, I think, because wasn't that 97? The handover back to China of Hong Kong.
Well, how long were they supposed to not interfere? Was it like 30 years or 50 years or something, isn't it? It's coming up.
I'm not entirely sure of the ins and outs, to be honest. I was 7.
It was the 90s for sure. Yeah, I don't know if this was immediately before or afterwards.
Fairly certain it was 97 that the handover took place. But Chris Patton is the guy in charge.
Crisp Patton, are you saying?
Patton.
Or are you saying Chris
Chris
Patton is the guy in charge?
Chris Patton was
the
guy
I understand
charge,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That name does ring a bell.
And he had a
I thought you were saying that the pattern of the coin was crisp.
No, it's fairly.
Sometimes I get confused as to whether or not we're talking about coins or about international politics.
That's all right. There's not. I mean, coins in many cases are international politics, aren't they? There's very very little delineation between the two topics. I have
never a true word.
Yeah, Crisp Patton. Get that on Radio 4 immediately, says Pissing Myself. Yep, I will be writing to them. I'll be penning them a letter, which simply says, Crisp Patton, crisp hat on. Then it says Hong Kong beneath that, and then just my name and contact details, and they will hopefully be in touch. To
get that over the punt.
They'll probably fax it straight to him and let him work his magic. So that's the $1, the Hong Kong $1. Then we've got this, I believe, Hungarian coin here. Magyar. Kosterasag. I've no idea about Hungarian pronunciation, even though obviously learning Finnish as Pete is. They're from the same family of languages, but there doesn't seem to be a great deal of crossover.
Are they really?
Yep, they're the Finno-Ugric language branch, comprising Finnish, Estonian, Hungarian, maybe Karelian is in there as well, and some other sort of languages from around that kind of area. The most confusing thing...
Ugric.
Yep.
I was going to say, I was going to say Ugric is like a word that I only ever see used in conjunction with other things. I've never really thought about what it means.
Well, I think it means... I don't know. I don't know what it means.
No.
But that's that. That's the context that I've heard it in most often. Josie says the most confusing thing about Hungarian is that the letter S is pronounced as sh. So that would be Koztarshag. This
two S's in quite close proximity there.
Yeah, pretty difficult.
Shag. Is he going to sort of Sean Connery it up?
Yeah. To any Hungarians who have somehow joined us, I apologise profusely for butchering your language to such an extent that you probably wouldn't even recognise it as an attempt to pronounce any word in Hungarian. Baldy says that Pete's Finnish pronunciation is awful. I'm just flipping over the coin there to reveal that it is a forint. Magyar, I believe, I thought was the... No, that Magyar is maybe the Hungarians. I don't know. I don't know. Quite simply, I do not know.
Pretty good. I'm going to take a minute just to check in with the status of my evening, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Please do go right ahead.
Okay, I will be back.
That's fine. I can't... Please go, and I will I'll fill. So Sam is just wandering off to check what's going on with his evening. I need to probably transform this what's that, the coin cam. Let's see if we can transform this to get it. No, I always get this wrong. For some reason I'm completely incapable. There we go. Lovely stuff. Josie says A in Hungarian is also pronounced how we Brits say O in hot. So, returning to this coin, that would be Koztorshog. Bloody hell, that's tough. So this is a Wikipedia article which is entirely un-Hungarian. Let's see if we can get it in English. Republic! Republic! The word means republic. That's good. And there's a what looks like a nice sort of eagle on there, and it's on a sort of tree stump, I think. That's the most that I can glean from that. Republic, in most European languages, the word republic comes from the Latin res publica, public affairs, which in the ancient Roman Republic means both public property, public space, which is not privately owned, and public affairs, which means a common disposition over common things. And I'm not going to attempt to read any of that out in Hungarian, because it would be a travesty and not entertaining for either me or you. But look at this guy, Lucius Junius Brutus. Hello, Sam. We have got to the bottom of things. Kozdarshag is the Hungarian for republic.
Okay. Checks out.
What's the status of your evening?
Yeah, it's all good. We've probably got about half an hour. We're gonna sort of put some nice clothes on and everything because that's a nice thing to do.
That's very nice.
I might have a quick shower and
makes sense.
pick some music.
What music
Some
are you
music.
thinking?
Don't know off the top of my head. Get some Charles Lloyd maybe.
Charles
Quite good.
Lloyd.
Or
I'm not
maybe stick on more of a playlist situation.
familiar with Charles Lloyd.
Oh, I must have sent you
Probably
Waves.
at some point.
He is. The best thing he ever did, in my honest opinion.
He
was like a jazz.
Amerikai Decisionist.
Oh yes, you can tell us.
Decisionist.
Yeah.
1938.
Musician.
Marcius 15. N. Schuletet. Tennessee.
Yeah, he's
Alembly. Memphis Ben.
a jazz saxophonist.
Autodidact.
That's the word
He taught himself.
Nice one.
Auto-
He's a lad. He's an absolute boomer.
Madon Tenalt Meg.
But he did
tenor saxophone. Saxophone.
saxophone. Yeah, he has a style that's quite similar to what's his name, John Lurie from Lounge Lizards.
Yeah.
If you've ever
Yeah, of course I have.
delved, for
Big
fans
fan
of that
of,
on the chat.
Theme from Chunk or
Chunk.
that's the
Yeah.
and Bob
And,
the
well,
Bob. The opening
and also-
two tracks from that album are lovely. In fact,
Yeah, and there's another one that's called something like I can't remember, Doing Things Wrong or something. That's quite good. But he did a fishing show in the 70s called Fishing with John, which had like people like Tom Waits on it, and he's currently doing a
Painting
show
with
called
John.
Painting with John. Yeah, you know your stuff.
well, I think Fishing with John was in the 90s. Just
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, it was in the past for me.
definitely in the past. Yeah, I've just popped Bob the Bob on for the chat. If anyone is able to hear that, I'm not sure of what the levels are, as we've established. I'm not really sure how to figure out the levels, but just pop that on for you to have a little listen to if you ever mind to do so. Did he play on Careless Whisper?
No, everyone was going after that job. I don't know if he did or not.
That was a question.
But he did an album called. Oh, that was a question.
That was
I
a
don't know.
question
But he did an
from
album called.
Paul.
Let me. I'm going to tell you this Waves fact.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Try your best.
Okay. He did an album
Did he?
in the 70s.
Yeah,
I want to say
I bet he-
1977
I bet
called
he did.
Waves
I bet he did.
with Al Jardine and Mike Love and Gabor Sabo.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Gabor Sabo. Is this where the Hungarian
Damn right, yes.
connection came from?
This is where the Hungarian connection comes in. Yeah,
I see.
American-Hungarian guitarist.
Done a lot of albums. Baldy was suggesting Careless Whisper for your playlist, not suggesting that Charles Lloyd
It's a bit
played-
too on the
played
nose,
sax
isn't it?
on,
I think.
I have just right. So I've just received something on the chat asking whether I will permit the message "Mike Love is a cunt." I have chosen to permit that, but if anyone has a problem with the term cunt, I will happily try and expunge it from my vocab and that of the chat. My own via self-censorship, and the chat via authoritarian censorship from above via the chat bot.
What is the beef with Mike Love?
Mike Love's the big Trumpy Beach Boy, isn't he?
Oh, is he a Trump head now?
Yeah. I think
MAGA
so.
hat. I did not know that.
Yeah, I think he's.
I made a whole song about Mike Love once.
Do you want to play it?
No, it was part of when I was in my birthday bread boy.
Ah, yes. Are those still online?
I hope so.
Because I didn't know whether, but I thought that Barnaby had something of a habit of sort of removing lots of his work from the internet. I don't know.
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, everyone involved in that project has a habit of removing all of their work from the internet,
Yeah.
to be honest, as do I. So
Yeah.
I'm sort of surprised that's probably the only thing that's up there representing. Do you find that's a problem with, you focus too much on doing stage shows, you forget what's out there representing you on the internet, and you'll meet people who think that your like grandest achievement was Birthday Boy, which I suppose in a way it is, but
Pete and police have confirmed that they are still up there, the Birthday Breadlands. Sean has looked at them on stream.
oh great.
So,
I've got a whole section on my website devoted to him.
oh yeah.
I'm very proud of that. Yeah, I'm
The
really proud
music
of
is a
them
bit
looking
loud, so let me turn the music down. Sorry everyone for that. It's difficult to monitor, very difficult to monitor levels. This is Queen of All Ears from a 1998 Lounge Lizards album, by the way, if anyone was interested. Carry on.
Well, no. But I can't hear the music. But
No, you can't hear it. I can hear it, but I can't tell how it's interacting with the feed from you. Josie, is that better? Is that level better? Would you prefer if I turned the music off altogether? I'm happy to do that.
I will say, Lounge Lizards fact for all you local comedy geeks in the chat, fans of this little scene. Do the Wrong Thing, which is a Lounge Lizards track, used to be the walk-on music for almost everything that Sean ever did.
Oh, really?
Comcab back in Sheffield. Yeah.
At the Lounge Lizards, Jishej Zenokart 1978 ban, Alakatata Saxophonista John Lurie, Navuk Lounge Lizard Schlang.
Schlang.
Not gonna. Right, okay, let's get off Hungarian Wikipedia now, because I suspect that I'm the only person enjoying it, and I'm not even having that great a time with Hungarian Wikipedia. So, let's have another bit of money. So we've had the Hungarian 10 forint coin. Let's hop over to, this is one of the I'm not particularly, fond of any of the things in the collection, because I don't really know what's in the collection, but this is pretty good. This is something which was sent to me by
massive
Elise Bramich, because I purchased her partner Gideon Defoe's latest book, which was a sort of a history of countries that no longer exist. And he was doing a thing where if you purchased a copy, you would also get a piece of currency from a country that no longer exists. This is a 20-something or other from Yugoslavia, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, look at that.
And what a great concept for a book as well.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's very, very easy reading. You can power through it. You don't need to power through it because it's very, very easy to read. You can read it. It's a book that you can read.
You can read at a normal pace. Rip through it. I love the idea that when you're coming to a book that's composed of like lots of interesting tidbits, you're just ripping through it. Fact.
I've got a fucking belt through this one.
Digested the information.
Andrew Hunter wants to.
What book are you reading at the moment, Andy?
What book am I reading at the moment? I have several books which I have not. Well, let me confess something to you, Sam, and the stream. I only managed to finish one book last year because my attention span is absolutely shot to shit. I can't really concentrate on anything for very long. I read one book last year, and it was Steal As Much As You Can by Natalie Ola, which Siri got me for Christmas, and I went through in about 4 days. But it was, it's a non-fiction book kind of about.
That's about the creative industry, right?
Yeah. And it was very good. It was very interesting, and I suppose crucially, I had to do a fair bit of travelling because we were in Finland at the time, and then we got the plane back, and so I read a lot of it on the plane. But that is the only book that I read last year, and I've got Owen Hatherley's Red Metropolis sitting around downstairs, and I also have several other books which I have opened and read some of, but never finished. So I've got Minchin's Mason and Dixon on the go, and some other stuff.
Big book.
Can't remember. It is a big book. We've got a couple of comments. We had some wows when the 20 whatevers from Yugoslavia was revealed. As I've already covered, a request from Andrew Banter to estimate the value of the note. Josie says, "Ooh, Yugoslavia, very fancy." They have one Yugoslav coin, but no note. Pete and Orly suggest that maybe it's the Yugoslavian dinar, which, I mean, could be correct. I don't want to...
Yeah, I mean, and surely the estimated value of a note is nothing.
Yep, I think you're technically correct there, but I would suggest that you're not really engaging with the spirit of the question.
Well, actually, I was going to immediately rescind that viewpoint and clarify. I guess it would have no value as pure currency, but surely now has value as a token of sort of, you know, a nostalgic collectible item.
My interpretation of the question would be estimating what its value adjusted for inflation of its value at the time that it was created, adjusted for inflation for now.
It doesn't look like loads of effort has gone into it, so I don't think it's going to be worth that much.
You know, it's got a nice ship on it.
Ships are 2 a penny, aren't they? Though, so I'm going to say it's worth about a penny.
Are you telling me that I could go down to Southampton with a penny and come away with 2 ships?
I'm saying that you couldn't buy a ship in Southampton anymore because the industry has collapsed, making them worthless. So I stand by it. I think that's probably worth about a penny.
So, right, okay. If I were to go to somewhere that still has a shipbuilding industry, I would be able to get 2 ships for a penny.
You could get 2 ships with that note.
You said ships.
Well, hold on. Hold on. Listen, I feel like I've been tricked into a corner now where I'm defending the price of a ship
defending
rather than
the indefensible
the value
position,
of the currency. I don't know. I feel like I've been tricked.
Just catching up on the comments. Andrew Banter says it's a delicate feelings kidney, whichever way you slice it. Is that a Collaterally Sisters bit from the Day-to-Day, or is that something else? I can't quite remember. Just read the Gibbons Brothers of Alan Partridge, I. Partridge, Oasthouse, which I've not read, but I would like to. I hear the audiobook version of that, or the podcast or whatever, is very good and enjoyable because it's the voice.
You got to get Audible though, haven't you?
Yeah. Your video's now very out of sync with the audio, so I just got you sipping whilst you were also speaking, saying that you've got to get Audible.
I think my video's been out of sync this entire time.
I mean, that shows how much attention I've been paying, doesn't it?
Yeah, my internet's pretty bad.
Says, I've checked through the value of all the old coins and notes I have, and they're barely worth anything, so I can't imagine this is worth much. Agreeing with you there, but not going so far as to attempt to allege that you would be able to get 2 ships for...
Yeah, I think tying it to the value of ships was a mistake on my part. I was trying more to use metaphor.
Josie asks whether there's a year on the note. I will attempt to find a year. And I will fail. Completely. Possibly because there is no year on... No, 1978 it says, but I don't know if that's actually the year that this was printed or whether
just a memorable year.
Yeah. Belgrade. Something about Belgrade. 12th. 12th.
It's got a
Roman
very
numeral 8.
70s colour scheme.
Yeah. Well, I like that. You know, I like that.
Yeah, I know you like that.
Almost. It was Morris on Brasseye. Says Andrew Banter. Pete says, I don't know how accurate this is, but I looked it up and it is worth £8.97. So we have an answer. How many ships do you reckon I could get for that?
Hundreds.
Fair.
I mean, that's a lot of ships.
That is a lot of ships. That's a fleet.
Yeah, that's an armada.
Yeah, no, we're in full navy territories there. For 1978, it seems to be worth £4, says Josie. So we're actually there is disagreement in the chat now. There we go. So that's the Yugoslav 20-somethings. It is dinars. Dinaras. Yes. Okay. So you were completely right, Pete. I just had not noticed that there. Wow. That's pretty good. Well, I'm proud of it. I'm happy with that, even if you're quite disparaging about the ship. On it.
Would this be another country that falls under the what was the phrase, the Finno-Ugric language?
I don't think Yugoslavia would come in there. No, it's
okay.
What kind of family of language is that? Is Slavic? A lot of them are probably Slavic languages, aren't they? Maybe.
Looks a bit like it.
Yeah.
Using the old Russian alphabet, isn't it?
Slavic, says Josie. Yep. Andrew Banter is engaged in finding out what the value is. Pete and or Lise ask how much ships were in 1978.
Well, you've got to adjust for inflation.
Yep. Would you care to?
I think we should wait until all the facts are in from Banter.
Coward's answer. Unwilling to yes, nail your colours to the mast there. Slinking around in the the swamp of uncertainty, waiting to jump on some definite information.
Hiding in the margins of history.
Scum. Just putting something slightly less chaotic than the lounge lizards on in the background because it's distracting me slightly.
You got to be careful with lounge lizards because it can veer into almost Residence-esque territory at times.
Yeah. Hiding in the margins of history is me, says Andrew Banter. I don't think that's fair. That's not what I meant to say. Inflation only really matters if it was one of those dinghies that you have to blow up, says Pete and or Lise, coming in with I think what we can all recognise as a pun and a pretty good one in the circumstances.
That's a good one.
I'm happy with that. That gets the seal of approval.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any way of indicating that. It's
Put the wow back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
There we go. You probably can't hear the wow, can you?
No, but I can see it, and it's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, I've got some other ones that I've done because obviously to kind of make those little things, I have to get my green screen out, and then I have to get the fucking tripod for my phone camera, and then get the little converter that converts the lead so that the lead can connect the phone to the microphone. So we've got a slightly better sound quality, slightly better. Obviously, it's quite poor. Everyone who's listening at home will know that it's quite poor sound quality, but it's a long process to get quarter of a second of me going wow, or anything else for that matter.
Yeah. But I mean, if you consider the amount of effort that we used to go to produce, like 10 minutes of live material.
Yeah.
It's not really that big a change, is it?
No, it's not, and I don't have to actually move from my room. Although often I have to come upstairs because I spend a lot of time downstairs in the lounge, but that's by the by. I suppose we should probably wrap up soon because we've been doing this for 3 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really fun.
Yeah. Do you have any other coins?
I love talking about coin.
I like talking about coins.
I've got so many.
Well, I was going to say that if you want to come back and go through some more coins at some other point, I'd love to have you back. Maybe we can discuss this offline rather than making a firm, solid agreement here.
Well, if there's interest, if there's an appetite for it with the people, I'm more than happy to.
If we can get
come
an
back and
S
chat
going
again.
in the chat for more Sam, if you want more Sam at another point, and would indeed tune in to watch more of Sam. And could we get an N going in the chat for no more Sam, if you would rather that Sam were banished from the stream for good.
Wow.
That's 2 S's so far. 3 S's.
That's pretty good.
They're coming in thick and fast here. I mean, it was a fairly loaded question. I mean, usually
It was pretty, yeah.
You'll have one joker who'll drop in with an N for no more Sam, but
really
I think
quite
that's
fishing for it, really.
fairly indicative. We've got some final messages here. Pissing Myself suggests that a kill him would be good for Thursdays, but bringing it up might cause you to lose concentration and not kill him. So I should make one of those for next week. That's a good note for me. Next time you could have a game of Up Jenkins. Do you know what that is?
No, it sounds like an improv warm-up game, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, it does. Up Jenkins. Well, it's come up pretty quickly. It looks like it might originate in... Wow. Okay. Up Jenkins is referred to as a lesser-known alternative to Hide the Thimble.
Which already is very not well known for me.
Yeah, no, it's not doing a great job. Up... No, it's got something to do with a coin. So it's
a coin game.
It's entirely appropriate. It is entirely appropriate.
Hooray!
No, not that. There's a coin drinking game. Up Jenkins, also known by the shortened name Jenkins, is a party game in which a player can seal a coin, or ring, button, etc., in their palm as they slap it on a table with their bare hands. The goal of the game is for the players on the team without the coin to correctly identify which hand the coin is under. The game typically consists of 2 to 4 player teams, one on each side of a table. There are no official rules, so rules may vary widely. The game is often played with alcohol beverages with which to drink as a forfeit. The only problem I would say with that, I think Sam has some sort of kind of stand on which his mic is suspended from. Mine is just sitting on the table, so that would really that would interfere. Slapping a coin down on the table.
Yeah, mine's just on the table as well.
Terrestrial, is it? Yeah.
I gotta say as well, first impressions on this game is that it does not deserve its own title. Well, 2 separate titles. It feels
what I would consider
like
a fairly extensive Wikipedia page. What is this? It's essentially
what you just
slapping
described
a coin
me
on a
there. Yeah. And then to go on from that very limited premise to say it has very, what was it about having like no real rules that need to be actually followed at all?
This,
like,
this has essentially got a name and nothing else.
When you say there are no official rules, that just completely wipes the slate, doesn't it? Really.
Have we got any,
how can you even have alternate versions?
Have we got any Welsh people in the chat? Because apparently a similar game in Wales is Tippet, which was used as the basis for the S4C television game show Tippet.
Oh man.
Oh wow. Yeah, so Josie knows it as Tippet. It was played by members of the newsroom at a party in the show The Newsroom. Have you ever seen The Newsroom?
No.
Oh, I would thoroughly recommend watching an episode of that because it is, it is the distillation of Sorkin. It is they've got all of the Sorkin into a big machine and just concentrated it down to its very essence. It is incredible. Well
Check
worth
it.
a
I have
watch.
seen The Office though, so I should be familiar with Up Jenkins.
And if you play nothing else, if you watch nothing else of the newsroom, watch the scene in which characters from the newsroom are the first to break the news of the killing of Osama bin Laden to the captain of a plane. They're on a plane on a runway waiting to take off, and then there's some sort of commotion. It's an incredible scene. I thoroughly recommend that you look it up. Anyway, let's just catch up on the last few bits of chat here. Game of Up Jenkins. Andrew Banter has thanked us for a very funny stream. Thank you very much for joining us. That was a real pleasure to have you with us and to be able to introduce you to some of the coins that we have. So a lot of Up Jenkins chat. Then crazy scene from the newsroom. Blah 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 blah. Brilliant. That's it. I think all matters are closed. Tippet is a more accurate name. You're completely correct, pissing myself. So all that remains to be said, I think, is Sam, do you have anything in particular that you would like to plug to the people here who probably already know who you are and would be aware of your upcoming project? But if you do, please do let us know.
Well, just to say, actually, guys, we're in the process of renegotiating our internet contract, and if that all goes well and we get better bandwidth, I may well make my long anticipated return to streaming.
Wow.
That's it. That's all I have to say, really.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's short, it's to the point, it really conveys the information that's required. Well, thank you very, very much to everyone who has been with us tonight. This has been Coins, and this has been Sam Nicoresti. Sam, thank you so much for joining us, and have a
Thanks for having me.
rest of your evening.
Yeah, you too.
I've stopped the stream now, so so I should have let you have a laugh.